Alright, take one. Alright, guys. Hello, guys. Super Anthony Characters here. And this is day 13 of me being interviewed by my imaginary friend named Cesar. And we're going to talk about my day at school, how my day was at school. Alright, Anthony, so how was your day at school today? My day could have been better. I didn't have a I didn't have a good day, but my day could have been better. Yeah, my day could have been better. All right, so tell me all about your day today. All right, so I guess I had a good day in social studies class, but when I was in social studies class, my paraprofessional, Mr. Fortuna, told my classmate Joshua that he needs to distract me so Mr. Fortuna and Victor and my friend Victor could get some snacks out of my lunchbox. But I hope Mr. Fortuna was joking, because if he wasn't joking, then Mr. Fortuna and Victor could get in trouble, because if if Victor and Mr. Fortuna sneak inside my lunchbox and get some snacks out of there, that would be stealing. And then Mr. Fortuna and Victor would have to spend 24 hours in jail. Yeah, that's what I think. But yeah, if Mr. Fortuna and Victor really did sneak inside my lunchbox to get some snacks out of there, yeah, that would be stealing. And I hope Mr. Fortuna wasn't serious about that, because that would be stealing. And it's not good to steal from people. And when you steal from people, you could get in trouble. Yeah, you could get in trouble from stealing from people. Yeah. And you could even get sent to jail. But maybe he was just joking, but I didn't think it was a joke, really. But anyway, other than that, my day was good in social studies, but I just overheard the conversation about that. But in math class, I had a good day in math class, but I only needed one reminder, because when I was in math class, we were doing some math on a website called knowit.com, I think it's called. And my teacher, Miss Bosser, told me that I have to solve 6 problems on there. But instead of solving 6, I solved more than 6, and I solved 11. And I solved 11 math problems on knowit.com. So that was a reminder, because I didn't follow the directions. Yeah. Other than that, my day was good in math, but I only needed one reminder for not following directions. Now, in STEM class, my day could have been better in STEM class, because I was not being a serious student, and I was even making my paraprofessional, Miss Carey's job hard for her. I was making Miss Carey's job hard, because she was trying to help me out. She was trying to read me the directions. She was trying to help me out with the test. Yeah, she was trying to help me get a good grade on my test. But instead of being a serious student, and instead of doing my job, I was doing my own thing. I was stimming. I was fidgeting. I was staring off into space. I was daydreaming. I was just doing my own thing. I was doing whatever Anthony wanted to do. And that wasn't good, because that's not being a serious student. Yeah, I was just doing my own thing. And I was making my paraprofessional, Miss Carey's job 10 times hard. And you want to know what else I got a reminder for? So, when I was in STEM class, uh, I called my classmate a name. I called him a cheater. And then Miss Carey said that that wasn't nice, and I needed to apologize because, yeah, maybe I should have apologized because I probably wanted somebody to call me names such as cheater. Or, yeah, it's not nice to call people names. So I said, I'm sorry, Quadwo, for calling you a cheater. And then he said it's okay. But yeah, it's rude to call people names because I probably wouldn't want somebody to call me a name. Yeah, my day could have been better in STEM class because I wasn't being a serious student and I was doing my own thing. And that wasn't good because I had a job to do and I didn't really do it because I wasn't being a serious student. Yeah, I had a job to do, but I wasn't really doing a lot of it. And I spent most of the time stimming and fidgeting. I spent most of the time doing that when I could have spent most of my time doing my job. Yeah. So, yeah, by the time it's like the third marking period, I gotta be a serious student. That way, I'll probably be making Student of the Month for February. That might happen. I might make Student of the Month for February. I hope I do. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I'll make double Student of the Month for February and May. That would be awesome. Yeah. My day could have been better in STEM class because I wasn't being a serious student in STEM class. And I spent most of the time fidgeting and stimming when I was supposed to be doing my job, which is doing my STEM test. And yeah, I should have just did my job instead of spending the most of the time stimming. I probably needed more than 10 reminders. That's a lot. I probably needed like more than 10 reminders. Yeah. And you know what? My classmate told my teacher, Miss Carey, how much reminders I needed. And he said I needed 10 reminders. And he said that Miss Carey had to remind me 10 times. And Miss Carey said that she had to remind me more than 10 times. Yeah. My day could have been better because I wasn't really being a serious student and I wasn't being a serious student in STEM class because I spent most of the time stimming and fidgeting instead of doing my job. Yeah, but tomorrow I'm going to try to do my job. I was doing good at first because when I first came in STEM class, before I did anything, I read the directions that were on the board. I was doing so good until when it was time for me to do my test, I wasn't being a serious student. And I spent most of the time stimming and fidgeting instead of doing my job. Yeah, I was doing so good at first until I started not being a serious student. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to try to be a serious student. And I'm going to try not to make my teacher, Miss Carey's job 10 times hard. I'm going to try to make her job easy. And I'm going to try to really be a serious student. And I'm going to really be respectful. And I'm going to try to really complete my work. And I'm going to try to really follow directions. And I'm going to really try to make good choices. And I'm really going to try not to receive more than 2 reminders. I'm going to try to really be a serious student tomorrow. Since I wasn't really being a serious student today. Yeah. My day could have been better in STEM. Now in English class, I didn't get a check or an X because that was the class where I had to go home early. I got an early dismissal. I got an early dismissal at like 1:55 or something. And you want to know, Mr. Fortuna asked me a question in ELA class. And he said, "Anthony, you still got some snacks in your lunchbox?" And then I said, "Yeah, but you're not getting any, but you can't get any." And then Miss Bosser said that was a good answer. Yeah. When Mr. Fortuna asked me, did still have some snacks in my lunchbox? The reason why I said he's not getting any is I over because he said he's gonna try to take some out of my lunchbox in social studies. But he asked me, "Am I does do I still have some snacks?" When I got back to English class, he asked me, "Do I still have some snacks in my lunchbox?" And I said, "Yeah, I do, but he can't get any." Yeah, Miss Bosser was right. I That was a good answer. I said yes, but you can't. I When Mr. Fortuna asked me if I still had some snacks in my lunchbox, I said yes, but you can't get any. That was a good answer. And you know what? When I was in ELA class, I had to finish doing my STEM test because I didn't really complete it in STEM class. So I had to do my STEM work in Miss Bossert's room. I had to do it in room 136, Miss Bosher's room. I had to do it in there because I didn't really get it done in my STEM teacher, Miss Ahern's room. Yeah. So tomorrow, I'm going to try to be a serious student and I'm going to try not to make my paraprofessional Miss Carey's job too hard. And to I'm going to try not to spend most of the time stimming and doing my own thing. Fidgeting, stimming, um taking walk breaks, doing my own thing, that's something I could do during my free time. But when it's time for me to work and when I have a job to do, I need to do it. And I need to stay grounded in reality. And I can't just do my own thing because I wonder how would I like it if Miss Carey did her own thing. That wouldn't be good. So maybe I shouldn't do my own thing when I have a job to do. If I had if I'm in math, ELA, science, social studies, exploratory, if I have a job to do in any of those classes, I'm just going to do it. And I'm not going to do my own thing because if Miss Carey did her own thing, it probably wouldn't be good. So maybe it wouldn't be a good idea if I did my own thing when I have a job to do. Yeah, tomorrow if I have a job to do, maybe instead of doing my own thing, maybe I should just do my job and stay grounded in reality. That's what I'm going to try my best to do tomorrow. Because tomorrow is my last day of the second marking period. And then, yeah, January 23rd, which is tomorrow, that's the last day of the second marking period. And then I think we go back to school January 27th. January 27th might be a Tuesday because Monday, January 26th, I think we have the teachers need to it'll be teacher grading day. So I might have to go to school on January 27th, which might be a Tuesday. Yeah, and you want to know something? Yeah, you want to know something? So, when I got back to school from winter break, I was expecting, when it was time for me to change seats, I was expecting to sit next to my friends Victor or William. But when I got back to school from my winter break, I noticed that my assigned seat was next to my classmate named Naima, and I wasn't really happy about it because I was expecting to sit next to William or Victor, because those are some kids that those are my friends. But maybe I should have told Miss Bossert who I wanted to sit next to before the change happened. But I didn't. So Miss Bossert picked who my table mate's gonna be. And it was Naima. But maybe maybe next time I should tell Miss Bossert before a change happens. So tomorrow, since it's the last day of the second marking period, and when it's the third marking period, if we have to change seats, then I'm gonna say, Miss Bossert, excuse me, Miss Bossert, I would prefer to sit next to William or Victor. But if I don't tell Miss Bossert who I want to sit next to for the third marking period before the change happens, then Miss Bossert's gonna pick who my table mate's gonna be for the third marking period. And yeah, sometimes in class, sometimes I have to sit next to people that I might not want to sit next to, but I'm gonna try not to make it a problem. And maybe I should introduce myself and say, "Hi, my name is Anthony." And yeah, maybe I should introduce myself. But yeah, we might change seats in the third marking period. And if we do change seats, I'm gonna say, "Excuse me, Miss Bossert, I would prefer to sit next to William or Victor." That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, we might have to change seats in the third marking period. Yeah. And in the third marking period, I'm gonna try to be a really serious student. Yeah, even though I got X's and stuff on my point sheet, I've still been doing good in school because I haven't gotten any write-ups. I haven't gotten any FYIs. I haven't gotten any referrals, and I haven't gotten sent to the timeout room this school year. But I might get sent to the timeout room this I might get sent to the timeout room this school year if I misbehave and if I don't make good choices. But I'm going to try to behave and I'm going to try to make good choices. That way, I won't have to worry about getting written up, or I won't have to worry about getting any FYI written on me. And I wouldn't have to worry about receiving a referral. And I wouldn't have to worry about getting sent to timeout room. Yeah, I wouldn't have to worry about receiving any consequences if I make good choices and if I behave and be a serious student. Yeah. Yeah. Tomorrow, I'm going to try my best to be a serious student. And if I end up not being a serious student tomorrow, then I could always try again in the third marking period. But yeah, so I'm going to try to be a serious student tomorrow during for the last day of the second marking period. Yeah. I'm going to try not to misbehave tomorrow. And I'm going to try not to do my own thing when I have a job to do. If I have a job to do in class, I should just do it. And I need to stay grounded in reality. But I can't just do my own thing, because doing my own thing is something that I could do during my free time. But when it's time for me to do some work, and when it's time for me, when I have a job to do, then I need to just do my job and stay grounded in reality. Yeah, I can do my own thing when it's my free time. But when it's time for me to work, and when it's time for me to do work, I need to stay grounded in reality. Yeah. All right, guys. Um, we today is day 13 of me being interviewed by my imaginary friend, and we talked about my day at school, and my day could have been better. Yeah, my day at school could have been better. And before we end the blog, Caesar, are you proud of me for doing good the first time in STEM class? Yeah, I'm proud of you for doing a good job in the first thing of STEM class, but it's just that when it was time to do testing, you should have been a serious student, but you weren't being a serious student. But tomorrow, try to be a serious student. All right, tomorrow, I am going to try my best to be a serious student, and I'm going to try my best not to get too much reminders tomorrow. Because if I get too much reminders, then I might earn an X on my point sheet, and I might not get no free time at the end of the day. And I don't want that to happen, because if I don't get any free time, I might not be able to do anything fun. So tomorrow, I'm going to try to be a serious student, and I'm going to try my best not to get any reminders. And I'm going to try not to get too much reminders. All right, guys. All right, guys. This is day 13 of me being interviewed by my imaginary friend. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, the vlog. All right, guys. I guess I'm going to end the vlog here. All right, goodbye.